Well, let me first put that question to Mr. Padgaonkar. I mean, when you look at what he said, there was nothing sensational, nothing that jumped out on you and came as a surprise. So overall, how do you think he did today?
Well, listen, first of all, he's unlikely to convince the opposition parties. You've already heard their reactions. The whole exercise, I do not think, was meant to persuade the opposition parties to lower the guard. On the other hand, I think the very fact that he's not only decided to speak to these editors, but also to renew his contacts with the media is a step in the right direction. However, let me add that the dangers of overexposure are greater than the dangers of underexposure. And the reason simply is that what we are dealing with in encounters of this sort is to try and change public perceptions. Now, whether this particular meeting today is a step in that direction, I would think that on some issues, and I can spell them out, the Prime Minister has succeeded. Because for the past several days, lots of people have been saying, thumb the table, say that you're in charge, say that you're the boss.
And you think he got that
and
message
across? I think he's got that one message across. I repeat, the opposition is not going to be convinced, but I think public perceptions are likely to take this particular message quite seriously.
Are you totally unconvinced, Chandan Mitra, that he wasn't effective in his interaction today?
Well, you see, the Prime Minister is never effective as a communicator. And to that extent, I'm not surprised. Whatever he told the editors, we are, of course, getting only interpretations because only 5 people were privy to the discussion. But I think the only 2 things that seem to come out. One is that he insisted that he was going to stay. And this means he was really answering critics inside his own party, not to the outside world.
Yeah, and since they're privy to what we think within our party, that's BJP's periscope. Amazing. They don't know what's happening in their own party, but they know what's happening in our party.
No, this is nothing extraordinary. It doesn't take kind of, great rocket science to know what's going on in your party. It's all in the public domain. Mr. Digvijay Singh's comments are for everybody to see and hear. So I was only referring to that. Anyway, so first he wanted to say that no, he was going to stay and he was not going anywhere. Second, he chose this opportunity to blame the BJP for everything that is going wrong in the country. See, so as if he had no responsibility. He's the government, he's the Prime Minister. But he says if Lokpal is not coming through, it's the BJP. If inflation is not happening, BJP is not cooperating.
He also says this image of him being projected as a lame duck Prime Minister is clever opposition propaganda. Those were the words he used.
Well, yeah, but the fact is that if he's being projected as a lame duck Prime Minister, it's because people in his own party are saying it's time for the heir apparent to take over. So, I mean, we didn't create that situation. It was created by the kind of sniping that he's been facing, and I think therefore he really felt the urge that he has to come out.
So you felt he was on the defensive. And before I come to Renuka Chaudhary, I thought I'd get a view from an eminent citizen that he's your Prime Minister as he is ours. And what did you think about how he did today?
I think it's very strange to the methodology chosen to convey the message. You give the messenger to go and tell the messenger to tell the public. In today's date and time, 2011, you're supposed to communicate to the people of India. You're supposed to talk to them. So he should have gone on the television, spoken to the people of India. Then the opposition doesn't jump into it. Let them keep interpreting. The people get raw material directly from the Prime Minister. You're not even allowing cameras in. Then you get a very strange thing of editors coming out, putting a very positive spin, which gives you an impression that they are probably favored editors. And therefore, they are duty bound to give a very positive spin. That is a presumption you have. That may or may not be correct. Essentially, what is the problem? The problem is that Prime Minister's strong point has been his image of honesty. But what has happened over the last 2 years, a year odd, is that people have started making a distinction between personal honesty, which he continues to still enjoy,
and leadership.
And secondly is intellectual honesty. Now, if you go on blaming other people and saying, I didn't know, and I'm not going by what the editors are saying, I went through the site. PMO's site has got the opening statement of the Prime Minister. It's a very lengthy statement. If he read that out, I don't think the editors got much time to speak to him. It's almost 10 minutes it must have taken him, or they distributed it. We don't know. Now, it's a very lengthy thing. He recounts his days at Cambridge, how a top businessman came, and he said, if 5 of my 10 decisions turn out to be right, I'm very successful. This is not about that. This is not about wealth generation. This is about trust. And the trust is 3 decisions. Appointment of the Vigilance CVC. The opposition leader was bringing it to his attention. PM said later, I didn't know. Well, if he didn't know, there was a note recorded by the 3rd member of the committee.
He was part of that committee. Absolutely.
Secondly, 2G scam. He said, well, I have to trust my ministers. Anybody who has elementary knowledge of mathematics could know that if one of the persons who got something for 10 rupees
at the end of the day, you felt he wasn't able to address those issues
I'm
today.
saying if he says he's in charge, he's not lame duck, let him put his money where his mouth is, bring the broom out and clean the cabinet. There was no need for today's thing. He should have done it through actions.
Okay.
What the public is looking for
is action.
NDTV's cricket app, Android and iPhone. Fastest scorecard, special analysis, and much more. Download free. ndtv.com/apps.